Hey everybody, I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Hey everybody, welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. For those of you joining us for the first time, I'm Belinda Sandor, founder of the VA Connection, where I coach aspiring and established virtual assistants to create, grow, and scale the virtual assistant business that they've always wanted. I work with my students in my free online classroom, my courses, and coaching programs. And today I'm going to be your host for Lessons from the Cockpit. So I see a lot of you are here today. This is a very important topic that we're going to talk about today, which is mindset shifts for networking. So I'm thrilled that you're here. Come on in. Now, every week we on Lessons from the Cockpit, I share both tactical and practical advice for virtual assistants in each episode. And if you've been a VA for a while or you're just starting out, these tips are for you. So I can see Frederica is here from Amsterdam and Sabrina is here from Connecticut. Let me see who else is here and where you're coming in from. We are streaming all the places. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Twitter/X. We are streaming all over Facebook, and we are on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any valuable opportunities to catch free training. We have a ton of it. All right, good. So it looks like Pauline is here from the UK and Mary Reed is here. Hello. And Amy is here from Texas. Awesome. So come on in and settle in while we talk about this important topic. So before we jump in and talk about how shifting your mindset around networking I'm like not exaggerating, you guys, life changing. I want to introduce myself. All right. And it looks like George is here from North Carolina. That's great. And Michelle is here from Frisco, Texas. So welcome. Come on in. So I want to introduce myself to you. This is me in 2010 with my, I call her my little delish, my little daughter, who's now 22. And this was us right as I was starting my VA business. And my life had taken quite an unexpected turn. As I was sliding into 50, here was my game plan. And I know a lot of you, the big 3-0, the big 4-0, we think about, where do we want to be in our lives? And for 50, this is what I was hoping for, I wasn't just hoping, I was actually planning. Happily married, great job, saving for retirement, great relationship with my daughter, which thankfully I had. And all the things. And instead what I had was I didn't have a job. I had a business that was failing. I was getting divorced. I had to sell our home because I hadn't paid the mortgage in a year. And I had 7 years of back taxes. And this was not it was who I was, but it's not how I was living my life up until that point. You don't wake up one day and say, I'm not going to pay the taxes for 7 years, and then I'm going to torture myself for another decade to pay them back. Like, you don't do that, right? I mean, what happens is you don't have enough money to pay the accountant 1 year, and you think, okay, well, I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna get the accountant, and I'm gonna figure it out. And then you keep telling yourself that, and you keep thinking, all right, so it's been a year. I can't believe the taxes are due again. What am I gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna, that's how it works. That's how it works. And then it becomes so huge that you kind of throw your hands up and say, what the heck? What am I going to do? And so I really, I needed to start over. I needed to start from scratch. And I didn't know what to do, but I loved admin work. I'd always loved admin work. And I thought, what if I could make some kind of business out of doing admin work for people? Because I knew intuitively that I wasn't going to be able to make enough money working at a 9-to-5, which was never a 9-to-5, because not only did I have to support myself and my daughter, I had to pay off this debt, which was 6 figures in credit cards, and then this whole IRS thing. So this wasn't going to just be go to a job, get a paycheck, and it would have taken me decades, if ever I was going to be able to knock it down. So I returned to my roots and I started telling people in my life what I was up to. And one day I was at the school bus stop, and one of the dads, he said, "What are you doing? What's new?" And I said, "Well, I want to start this business doing admin work. I have a lot of experience and I think I'll be good at it. And there are people who I think will, want my help." And his entire face changed. And he was like, "Wait, what?" Because he had started a business and I had no idea. And here's the funny thing. Okay. This is hysterical. If I had known that he was an entrepreneur, I probably wouldn't have told him, because I would have thought that he thought that I wanted something from him, right? Like I'm telling him, like I expect him to hire me, when that's not true at all, right? But we tell ourselves all this stuff, and we're going to talk a lot about that today when we get into this whole networking thing, because a lot of what gets in our way is this, nonsense that we tell ourselves. So his name is Will. I tell Will about what I'm doing. He says, can we please talk? Can we talk like today and, see if we could work together? He'd been on his own for a month or so, driving his wife crazy. They had 3 kids, a dog, a house. She had a job. And this is not his area. His area is thinking big and growing. And he grew a very successful company over the years, very successful. But he needed help, just like a lot of our clients do. So the next client I was standing in the buffet line of a wedding, and I start talking to the guy and his wife in front of me, and we connect. He gives me his card. I connect with him on LinkedIn, which again felt like such a huge thing. And it gets back to this mindset, right? Because I thought, this is so crazy. All I did was connect with him, right? And I made it seem like if I connected with him, if I reached out to him, that would mean that I wanted something from him. Like I was trying to take something from him, or he thought I was going to think that. He didn't think that. What he thought was, oh, interesting. And he gave me his card. I didn't pull it out of his pocket. He handed it to me. And I connected with him, which is like the thing to do after you meet someone and, that's in business for themselves. And he reached out and we started working together. So if you are spending time putting flyers at the deli and putting your business cards at the beauty parlor and all that kind of stuff, that's not the way that this is going to work. This is much more relationship based. And this is good news. This is good news because it's not about, there's a systematic way that you can do that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the mindset that goes into this system that makes it much easier than cold calling and looking for people on LinkedIn. Much, much easier. Okay. Good. So we've had a lot more people join us. So we've got Lizelle is here from South Africa. Angela's here. Hello. Tammy's here from Florida. And Heather is here from, I love saying, Chattanooga, Tennessee. All right. Good. Good. So fast forward. All right. So fast forward. So I start telling everyone about my business and there are things that I do that I teach you guys that I'm not going to get into right now. But essentially, I kept in touch with the people I knew. I grew my network by shifting my mindset the way I'm going to talk to you about today. And I've been in business since 2010. I've worked with over 220 clients during that time and earned over $1 million, earned over $1 million, not being icky, not cold calling, not doing things that are massively uncomfortable. And that's what I'm going to teach you too, as well. And it's a different picture. So I'm remarried to a man that, oh my gosh, been waiting for him my whole life. Literally since my 20s, I've been looking for this man. What's so funny is we went to high school together. We both went on and had lives and all these kids and re-met at a high school reunion. The first one I'd ever gone to. And this is what my life looks like now. My finances are handled. There's no more minimum payments. There's no more scraping by. There's no literally wondering how am I going to get groceries. It's I can breathe again. I can absolutely breathe again. And this was us on our wedding date in 2021. And if you are ready to get started, I can help you. And I would love to. And Tammy says, relationship marketing is the best. As an introvert, it's so much more fun for me. Yes. So this is all the things that I teach you. I didn't invent this. This has been around for a bajillion years. It's called relationship marketing. I call it sprinkling because the word marketing to me is but sprinkling is like, tell everybody, tell everyone, right? All right. So thank you for that, Tammy. So let's dive into this. Okay. Now, as a virtual assistant, you've likely heard that you need to spread the word about your business to be successful. That's true. That's true. And networking is a great way to do that. However, I want to give you a little background. So when I was 35 years old, I had a job. I was the director of operations at a nonprofit. Loved my job, loved the people I worked with, learned a lot of stuff, great opportunity. And one day, the president of the company comes into my office and he says, I want to offer you a promotion. But this was not like offer it like you could take it or you couldn't. It's like, if you want to stay, this is what you're going to do. Okay. They'd reorganized the company and it was not hostile in any way. He thought I would be genuinely excited about this opportunity. So, and by the way, I just thought of this. Years later, he hired me to be his virtual assistant, right? I helped him with the project. But so he comes to my office and he says, we're going to promote you to chapter director. And he starts telling me what my job is, which is to network like a crazy person, to talk to senior executives in really big companies. Like imposter syndrome is going insane, and sell them programs that we offer. I'm like, what? There's no way I'm doing this. I don't say that right away because I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? And but he wants me to sell. And I had been to networking events in the past, and this was my experience. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people. People are making small talk. I don't know how to make small talk. I am terrible at it. I am an introvert. All I want to do, and I don't like to sell. I don't even really understand how to sell. And I'm supposed to be telling senior executives, I'm talking like the C-suite. I'm supposed to be talking to them about the opportunities and benefits of being trained by my company. What? Like, no way, right? So what I would do at these events was I would show up, I would talk to my boss, I would chit chat uncomfortably with people that worked in my business, and I would go to the ladies' room. And I'd try to get out of there as fast as possible. That was my experience of networking. So it's not like I'm Cinderella and I walk in the room like, this is so great, No. But I knew that when I started my Rocket Girl business, I was going to need to shift my mindset, because if I didn't, I was going to be home alone with my computer and no work, right? And that's not what you want. You want plenty of work, but you want to be able to do it in a way that doesn't feel icky. So for those of you who are thinking that it feels icky to network, I'm here to tell you that you can take the ick out. Just don't be icky. Right? Just don't be the thing you don't want to be. Don't be spammy. If you're worried about being spammy, don't be spammy. Don't be icky. Don't be all the things. And it all starts right here. Okay, it starts right here. So this is what I want you to know. So this is sort of my overview of networking. You get into professional clothes. Back then, I'm talking pantyhose. Like, hello. All right. So you pantyhose, comfortable shoes, blah blah blah. You enter the event, you look in the room and you realize you don't know anyone. And you're like, oh no. So you're standing there and you feel stupid immediately, right? Because what are you going to do? Walk up to somebody? I don't think so. All right. So maybe you talk to a couple of people. And how many of you have done this? You walk into a networking event and there's a group of people and you kind of stand in the circle and they don't open it. And you're like, oh my gosh, like they're not talking to me. Or you walk or like, and your brain is going crazy. Like you're going crazy and you're thinking, what am I doing here? Do I even want to have my own business? This is crazy. I'm good at admin work. Why do I have to do this? This is so stupid. I just want to go home and do the work. Right? Okay. So how many of you have felt this? Right? So you go, you get in the car, you feel like you failed. You feel like you haven't told anyone what you do. Nobody has tried to hire you, which is a big mindset shift we're going to make here. And you just think, I don't have what it takes. Like I don't have what it takes. So if that's what networking is for you, we're going to shift that. Okay, we're going to shift that. And by the way, what I want you to know about that job, I kind of left you hanging there, is my boss really liked, I think it's bourbon. It's called Maker's Mark. I remember that. And I bought a big bottle of it for him. And I went into his office and I put it on his desk after I'd gotten a new job. And he's like, oh no. And I said, yeah, I can't do this. I got to go. And he was wonderful and wished me well. And we kept in touch. And, yeah, so that's how that ended. So let me just check the chat for a minute. Okay. So, what I want to talk about is what networking actually is, because a lot of you have preconceived notions about what networking is. You think it's selling, you think it's convincing people about something, you think it's spammy, you think it's getting in people's face, right? A lot of you do. So I want to talk about what networking is. Networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. Okay? So let's just take that in for a minute. Networking is the action or process of interacting with others. So that's like talking to people. It's talking to people. Talk to people, right? To exchange information. So when people are at networking events, they don't want to be sold to. You don't want to be sold to. You don't want to sell. They don't want to sell. Sometimes people do, which makes it really uncomfortable. But that doesn't mean that you have to. All right. And what you're trying to do is exchange information. Okay. You know what that means? Tell people what you do, right? To develop personal or social contacts. So basically, you're there to talk about what you do, to meet people, and to make friends. Okay. That's what you're there to do. And some of my best friends I've met at networking events. Some of my best clients I have met at networking events. Some of the people that I have hired to help me, I've met at networking events. So what you have to do is you have to completely take the pressure off and also remove all the stress that you're attaching to this, right? There's so much pressure. So I'm going to a networking event tomorrow. Okay, so this is my plan. I'm going to plan my clothes tonight. So I did, because I always wait to the last minute and I don't know what to wear and then I feel uncomfortable. Bad move. Okay. So I'm going to plan my clothes tonight. I'm going to lay them out. I'm going to make sure I get enough sleep so I feel good in the morning. Get up, take a shower, all the things. Get in the car. I'm going to practice. I'm going to teach you in a minute how to talk about your work. And I'm going to practice saying it out loud on my way to the event. And then I'm going to show up and I'm going to start. I'm going to talk to people. But see, when you take the pressure off of anything, like literally any pressure you have off, and you just say, I'm here, I'm going to meet some people. I'm going to tell them about what I do. I'm going to hear about what they do. I have no expectation of being hired. I have no expectations of people here, wanting anything from me or them thinking I want something for them. It's a very neutral situation, right? So you have to take the emotion out of it. And if someone is looking at you across the room, I want you to think, this sweater must be really great on me because someone's checking me out, instead of, oh no, is this the wrong color, right? This is all in our head. And the other thing we do is we listen to someone else talking. And if they're prepared for the event, they probably sound impressive. I'm going to give you what you need to sound impressive in a minute. And you might think, oh, like compare yourself to them and put yourself down. You've got to knock all that off, because people are people, right? We're kind of mingling with the general public, and there's going to be all different kinds of people there. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But the thing is that all the scripts that are in your head that are telling you how terrible this is, you need to stop them and put something else in. Okay? All right. And you're going to have to practice. This is not one and done. This is not one and done. But I do want you to take the pressure off. Now, here's the thing. You might need to visit many networking events before you find one you like. Okay? One that resonates with you. I have been to so many. I remember I went to, I used to live in Boston. I went to one in Cambridge. It was a bunch of crusty old Harvard graduate people. These are not my people. Like I'm not that's not who my people are, right? I had nothing to talk to them about. I went to another one where, there was a lot of people that were insurance agents and real estate agents, and like they kind of felt like they had their own business, but they really didn't. They were tied to a company. Those are not my people because they're not entrepreneurs. I'm out networking, looking for other entrepreneurs, people like me, that I can talk to my business about and they can talk to their business about, and we can bounce ideas off each other and we can create a relationship. I have a meeting today with a woman who I've networked with, I've been in coaching groups with, and I have an idea. I want to run it by her. I met her networking, right? And so I texted her last night. I was like, hey, I need to talk to you. I have this idea. And she was like, you bet. How about noon tomorrow? I'm like, great. I met her networking. So we're helping each other, right? business camaraderie, if you will. All right. So it's not, so if you go and you don't like the people, go to another one. No big deal, right? You wasted 2 hours. It's not even a waste. You practice talking about your work. You picked out an outfit that you're going to wear the next time you network because it felt great. Don't sweat it. Really don't sweat it. I've been to so many groups where I thought, oh, I should have just stayed home and watched television. But the truth is I crossed a group off my list that doesn't work for me. And then one day I walked to this group after I moved to Connecticut, and I looked around the room. I was like, wow, these women are impressive. And of course, my imposter syndrome kicked in. I was like, oh, should I be here? And I'm like, yeah, you should be here. And then I met 1 or 2 people, and I just kind of watched that time because I'm naturally, not a talker. And then I went back the next time, and the next time I started to think, that woman is kind of cool. I'd like to get to know her. I'm going to go over to her, and she seems really friendly, and she seems approachable. And I met 2 or 3 people, and then I really pulled myself together, and I decided I'm going to ask them to meet me for a cup of tea. And I did. And all of those women, they're in my circle. They're in my circle now. They're on my team. They're telling other people about me. I'm telling other people about them. We're using that natural quality that human beings have, which is helping each other out, right? But everybody doesn't help everybody, right? But when you find your people, it's really great. So then you start to attend the same meeting over and over and over. You walk in the room, either virtually or in real life, and people are like, Belinda, how you doing? How's it going? You put your name tag on. Someone comes over and says, oh, someone told me about you. Can we talk? And you make friends. So if you take all the emotion and the pressure and the selling, and you just think about it as like a business cocktail party without the cocktails, it's a lot more relaxing. Or like a church social, but you're talking about business. It's really meant to be like that. And it's not always like that because the world isn't perfect, right? But it is out there. And I have found it many, many times. I've also not found it many, many times. So don't let it get under your skin. Like, come home from it and go, wow, I didn't really like that group. That's like, maybe I'll go back one more time, but that wasn't right. That wasn't right. And keep looking. So it's not a one and done, like you go to a networking event and it's like, okay, I networked. It doesn't work like that. So go find some friends, go find some business friends and hang out with them. But here's something you have to do. All right. You absolutely have to do this. You have to, you have to be able to talk about your work in a clear, simple way, because if you show up and someone asks you what you do and you just start blathering, you guys have all heard me talk about this, right? And you say, well, I help entrepreneurs with this or that. And I used to do this in corporate and now I'm doing, like, if you just start talking, they're not going to know what you're talking about. Now there's a ton of information about this on the blog, in the Rocket Girl Show replays that you'll find on the YouTube channel, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to practice this. This is what you're going to say. Someone says, what do you do, right? Or what do you do for work? Or do you have your own business, right? Those are the questions. And you're like, boom, I am ready, because you're going to practice this. I'm a virtual assistant. I work with entrepreneurs and small businesses, and I help them with the admin pieces of their business, like email newsletters, website updates, and PowerPoint presentations. And then I'm reaching for this, and then I stop talking. Right? You're there to plant a seed. You're not there to sell. You're not there to figure out how you can help them and jam it down their throat. You don't want to do that. Nobody likes that. And the other thing that happens is when we have this mindset of selling, it feels like a transaction, which, let me tell you, that is so icky. It's so icky, right? We've all been sold to. It's gross. Don't do it. Just go and relax and meet people, talk about your work, and don't be afraid to like, be yourself. Be yourself. If someone asks you a question and you're not sure, you can say, that's a really good question. Let me think about that. Yeah, I guess I have worked with people to do blah, blah, blah. And you're going to get better at it. And you're going to get your whole little shtick going, about the stories that you tell or whatever. and you're going to get more comfortable. But believe me, you can go from me, in the corner, not wanting to talk to anyone, completely freaked out, so self-conscious that I didn't even want to talk to anybody. I was like little Miss Nervous Laughter, to going into a room tomorrow, still a little apprehensive because I'm a human being, right? It's not like I figured it out for life, but I'm going to walk in and hi, yeah, I'm Belinda. Yeah. Okay. And it's going to be okay. All right. And I will have practiced in the car talking about my work, because I have to get those words in my mouth again, so they come out very conversationally. You don't want to do that thing. And I've talked to all of you about this before, where someone says, what do you do? And you're like, okay, I wrote this down the other day. Let me see if I can remember. Like, seriously, you need to know what you do, right? You need to know what you do. And this is going to help your networking a lot. And I'll tell you what, watch this. When you do this, a couple things are going to happen. All right. So you're going to ask somebody and they're going to blather on. It's very rare that someone has got this nailed down to be able to talk about what they do. And it will always sound in your head like it's rehearsed, because it is, but that's okay. It's totally okay. It only sounds weird to you, I promise. And what's going to happen is they're going to say, oh, wow. And they're going to be able to remember it, and they're going to file it away in their brain. And you're going to talk to people who you'll leave there and you're like, I have no idea what they do. And they have totally wasted an opportunity. So practicing talking about what you do is critical to your networking success. And there's a lot more to it. And in Lessons from the Cockpit, for the next few weeks, we're going to unpack this whole concept of networking. But the key piece from today is really shifting your mindset. So take the emotion out. It's not personal. There are going to be people there that are annoying. I promise you. Just don't let them get under your skin. We talk about through watching people on TV, like if someone is going on and on about why you need a niche and you're like, I don't need a niche. What are they talking about? You can do a couple of things. You can just listen. And I'll tell you what makes people slow down is if you say, oh yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. You don't have to argue with them. Or you can say, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I need to step into the bathroom or the restroom, whatever you want to call it. Right. So you can get away from it. Just don't let it take you over and ruin the event because somebody's having a bad day. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. And I'll tell you what, with some mindset management and prep work, you can confidently enter networking events like a pro. You can make friends, grow your business, and I want you to give it a try. Okay. Now let me tell you about something that I've created for you. It's called, what's it called, guys? Networking Secrets for Introverted VAs or something like that. Sorry. So it's a 32-page guide. And what I want you to do is I want you to download it and I want you to read it and I want you to write all over it. And I want you to take an action step about networking. All right. It is the way to grow your business. It's not instant. So you're going to have to do it for a while. Here I am. I'm in business 13 years. I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm doing it again on Thursday. Okay. So you want to incorporate it into your life and not make it, after you practice for a while, it will not be this thing that's like totally got you up at night, worried about it. Just walk in, bring a friend if you can. All right. And let's give it a try. So definitely check out that guide. It's, I spent a lot of time writing down everything I could think of that will help you. And I'd love to hear what you think about it and if you try it and how it goes for you. And Carrie says, hi, Carrie, networking has been the best thing for my business. Now, Carrie lives in Iowa and I think she has to drive to get somewhere because she's so in the middle of nowhere. Right. And I get that. I'm about to move, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're waiting to hear this week, to a town that has 160 people in it. So if I, so the thing is that you have to go beyond where you live sometimes, and that's totally fine. And Carrie has grown a business that she's billing the number of hours that she wants consistently, and she's done it virtually. You can 100% do this. So if you're telling yourself, I live too far away, that's a mindset shift. You don't. I've networked with people all over the world, and it makes it more fun. All right. Good. Well, thank you for coming. I'm thrilled that you're here today, and really, go over to YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell, and watch for us. Watch for us next week. Carrie says, I've never attended an in-person networking event. That's so awesome, right? And so here you can be like me today. You got on the cute little sweater, and I'm wearing yoga pants and fuzzy slippers. And nobody knows when you're networking from remote. So take a page from Carrie. She has been she's been very, very successful. And while I love Carrie and she has special superpowers, she's not a unicorn. She's just like us, right? She's just like us. So you can do it too. Good. So lean into it, try it out, get the guide, and take a step today, right? Take a step today toward this, and come back next week. And I believe the week after, we're going to have a whole series on networking for virtual assistants. All right. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.